This is from CBS Sports. How eliminated teams must set up their future quarterback for success, from CBS Sports. Browns, what they have, wide receivers, tight end, offensive line, play caller, question mark. What they need, running back, wide receiver. Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, Elijah Moore make up a decent receiving core. Browns could still use a true number one type receiver, so we'll have wide receivers on both lists here. Chubb turns 29 in 2 weeks, has looked like a shell of himself since returning from the knee injury. Browns need something more out of that spot. I think you're seeing progress with Nick Chubb. I think they do need to add to that position. I would also say, and you and I talked about it last segment, the offensive line needs an injection of youth too.
Yeah, I wouldn't count that towards the things they have. I would definitely, offensive line needs a major overhaul. Let's look at the play caller scenario. So let's just say they choose to move on from Ken Dorsey, and you look around the league at people who would be applicable candidates to bring in. And when I look, man, and we don't have to think too far back when we played New Orleans, Clint Kubiak, which that last name should sound familiar. He coached along Kevin Stefanski. The misdirection that they were able to hit us with in that Saints game, like that reminded me a lot of early Kevin Stefanski. They speak the same language. They obviously coached together in Minnesota, but then he went and coached next to Shanahan and got exposed to that running game, those passing schemes. So he speaks Stefanski's language. He's been exposed to other types of systems that are at least lateral to the Kubiak system, and I think he'd be a perfect get, someone to bring in, and you can kind of get back and be more creative with your misdirection, just your personnel usage too. If you saw the Saints really attacked us, and I think that'd be a perfect candidate to get in here and get an injection of a play caller who already speaks the language. You're not going to have to do any crazy install, and you'll be able to hit the ground running. But the Nick Chubb thing, keep in mind, we saw what happened to his knee. And when you look at those devastating knee injuries, and he's a later stage running back, it's never the season they return, unless you're Adrian Peterson. It's the season after. So my whole hope for Nick Chubb is maintain this same workload from now until the end of the season, get into the offseason fully healthy, and then in that offseason, be Nick Chubb. Do what Nick Chubb does in the offseason when he's healthy. Because that wasn't what he was doing last year. He was rehabbing. So this is where he can build, but it's all about maintaining his level of health now through the end of the year, and then he can build in the offseason. Hopefully they sign him to a year or two extension, and we really get to see Nick Chubb next year. And this is a phenomenal draft to go get another running back this year to pair with Nick Chubb, and then I think the running game might get that injection that we're looking for.